Oh, I'm so nervous. What is up, YouTube? It's me, HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys today because we're going to be talking about, well, Hazy Flame. Hazy Flame is a fire attributed archetype consisting of Pyro, Beast, Warrior, Winged Beast, and Dinosaur monsters, all under the name of Hazy Flame. In the OCG, these monsters are known as Hazed Beasts. They are all based off of mythological creatures, given the first of their OCG name, that are from various parts of the world, as monsters that are derived from hell creatures. A combination of monsters that are being put together to give you hellish nightmares, or basically the servants of the underworld. Now, in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh, they're all fire-based attributed monsters that are probably going to give you nightmares as well. And I'd have to say, they have a really cool design, but their gimmick in Yu-Gi-Oh is a lot different from what you would think it is because, well, you see these big fire attributed monsters, they're level 6 and rank 6. So how do they get to the field? Well, they have to rely on their own abilities or the abilities of their spell and trap, allowing them to bypass the whole aspect of tribute summoning to then be placed on the field and circumvent from that, which isn't bad. But here's the thing. You haven't probably heard of these monsters because these monsters are over 10 years old. They were first released in the OCG via the V-Jump promos in 2012 and 2013. They were then later released with support in Onslaught of the Fire King structure deck. Now, in terms of the TCG, they were released in Cosmo Blazer Core Set. They were released in Onslaught of the Fire Kings, which came out a couple of weeks after the TCG release of Cosmo Blazer, and in the TCG's version of Primal Origin, giving them about 3 sets of releases within a year. Outside of that, there has been no further support cards for any of these this archetype. And it's probably one of those that definitely would benefit heavily from modern day play and modern day influence. So, outside of that, really, I think it's really just more so time to go ahead and talk about the Hazy Flame and see what all these monsters are all about. So, let's start off with the first of the Hazy Flame monsters, and this is Hazy Flame Manticore. Manticore is a level 6 Winged Beast fire attributed monster with 2200 attack and 300 defense. Its effect reads that your opponent cannot target this card with effects. Once a turn, during either player's turn, you can send one fire monster, except this card, from your hand or face up on your field to the graveyard. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects for this turn. So Hazy Flame Manticore and the rest of the Hazy Flame will have the universal ability of your opponent cannot target them with card effects. For the remainder of the video, I'll just exclude that from any of the text that talks about their effects. Hazy Flame Manticore is based off of the Manticore, a beast-like creature that has the face of a human, the body of a lion, the tail of a scorpion, and the wings of a dragon. Now, in terms of its lore itself, it's known in medieval times as being a hellish beast created by black magic. It is also said in Persian lore that it is similar to that of the griffin, as they share a beast-like body, bird-esque-like wings, and carry the derivatives of both a flying and a land creature. Which, I mean, it's basically shown here. Next up is Hazy Flame Perton, also known in the OCG as Haze Beast Perton. This card cannot be social summoned except by the effects of a Hazy Flame monster's effect. You can send this one fire monster from your hand to the graveyard and tribute this card. To such summon two Hazy Flame monsters from your deck. You only use this effect of Hazy Flame Perton once per turn. So a Perton in lore is known as a it's actually a mythical creature similar to that of the Pegasus. While it's not an actual horse as Yu-Gi-Oh is trying to depict it here, it's actually based off of a male deer known as a stag that has bird wings. It also has some relations to Atlantis, as these are creatures that were supposed to guard um, the ancient city itself. But I guess that didn't work out too well because, well, the ancient city itself fell. These monsters themselves are probably one of the only two main deck monsters that are rare, and it has a lock-in ability that it cannot be special summoned except for the effects of a Hazy Flame monster. Luckily, there are a couple of Hazy Flame monsters that can summon it, and it doesn't even restrict itself from a summon. So if you somehow manage to summon this monster through an effect of the Hazy Flame monsters, then you can at least tribute it to go get another copy of itself and put them onto the field. Actually, it doesn't even restrict it from summoning two copies of itself. So you can get the other two copies and put them on the board. Moving on, we have Hazy Flame Griffin, known in the OCG as Haze Beast Grifo. It is a winged beast with 200 attack, 2100 defense, and its effect reads that if your opponent controls a monster and all monsters, if any on your side of the field are and in your graveyard are fire and only fire, you shall summon this card from your hand. This monster is based off of the Griffin, a winged beast-like creature with a head of a bird, wings of a bird, talons for its hands and feet, as well as the body of a beast, a lion more specifically, and has even its back legs as a lion. The mythical beast Griffin is based off of ancient Greek lore, that of the bird-like lion hybrid with wings. We've known the Griffin a lot in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, as we do have a Griffin monster in the Winged Beast variety for the wind attribute that battles against the Harpies for their hunting ground. Here in the Hazy Flame, this is another hellish beast-like creature that would give somebody nightmares just upon seeing it. Next up is Hazy Flame Cerberus, known in the LCG as Haze Beast Cerberus. You can almost summon this card without tribute, but its original attack becomes 1000. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add one Haze card from your deck to your hand. This monster has 2000 attack and 2000 attack, 200 defense, and is probably and most likely is one of the few monsters in the archetype that can be summoned without so many restrictions. Hazy Flame Cerberus is based off of the Cerberus, the Hellhound, that is the pet to Hades, the Greek lord of the dead. Hades himself, fun fact, not only keeps this creature as his pet, but its name of Cerberus means fluffy. So yes, this is Hades' little Fluffy. Three-headed Fluffy at that, as the Cerberus is a three-headed canine-like beast that its heads are there to scare its prey into fear. Next up is Hazy Flame Hydra, known in the OCG as Haze Beast Hydra. This card, you cannot summon monsters except for fire monsters. An Exceeds monster that was summoned using this card as Exceeds material gains the following effect. If this card is Exceeds summoned, you can target one Hazy Flame monster in your graveyard and attach that target to this card as Exceeds material. The Hydra is another Greek mythological creature, that is a multi-headed serpent with a dragon's body. Funny enough, the Hydra is also one of Hades' beasts, and if you play a couple of the games based off of Greek mythology, you do end up running into the Hydra. Now get up on that Hydra's back. Alright, next up is Hazy Flame Hippogriff, known in the OCG as Haze Beast Hippogriff. Once a turn, you can tribute one other fire monster to have this card gain 300 attack. In remnants of this monster, 2100 attack, 200 defense, is one of the other few monsters in the archetype that has the 200 defense for a certain spell card known as Rekindling to special summon. Hippiogriff was released in Onslaught of the Fire King structure deck, released a couple of weeks in the TCG after the release of Cosmo Blazer. This monster is basically the Persian equivalent of a griffin, as it has bird-like wings, a bird-like face, and a body similar to that of a beast-like creature. The Hippiogriff itself um, more so carries that Persian twang to it in terms of its design, where it's not really a bird, but it's not really a beast. Here's that they have their own, huh? All right, we're going to move on to the last of the main deck monsters for the for this archetype, and that is Hazy Flame Sphinx, known in the OCG as Hazy Sphinx. She rocks 1900 attack and defense, and her ability is that you can declare one card type, monster, spell, or trap, and send a top card of your deck to the graveyard. Then, if it is the declared card, you can send one fire monster from your hand or graveyard. You only use this effect of Hazy Flame Sphinx once per turn. So Sphinx is based off of the Egyptian beast known as the Sphinx. It carries the head and face of a human, while it carries the body of a lion. Now, the Sphinx itself, from what I looked up, and in most cases, is that to protect the gods themselves. They hint to riddles the thieves that would try to enter the pyramids or the sacred areas of the fallen kings as guards to them in their treasures. Dare to get the Sphinx's riddles wrong, and they will eat you alive. Next up is the last of the Hazy Flame monsters, and that is Hazy Flame Basiltrice, known in the OCG as Hazy's Basilicock. Is a rank 6 fire attribute Xyz monster, Pyro type, requiring 2 or more material with a maximum of 5 level 6 fire monsters. Once per turn, you can touch one material from this card to target one of your opponent's monsters they control or in their graveyard and banish that target. This card gains effects based off of the number of Xyz material it has attached to it. 3 or more, this card gains 200 attack and defense for each Xyz material attached to it. 4 or more, this card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. And number 5 is this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. So, if this monster can accumulate enough material, it is basically invulnerable with a major attack stat. Hazy Flame Basilisk is the boss monster of the Hazy Flame, and is based off of the Basiltrice. Now, for those who may not understand exactly what that is, let me refer to you of another creature, known as the Cockatrice. It is a bird-like creature with a serpent's tail, a serpent's tongue, and has the embodiment of a bird. In some references, it's more serpent-like, but in this case, for Yu-Gi-Oh! They made it a little more serpent-like, but gave it a bird-like head and gave it bird wings. I know this monster from multiple video games having a similar appearance of the snake-like body, the bird head, and maybe some wings or so. I only know this because I played earlier Final Fantasy games that introduced this creature as an opponent, as well as Final Fantasy 12, which outright just turns them into chickens. No, they really do. Chickens with little serpent tails, and they roll around. It's so hilarious. There's even a elite mark that is literally a giant chicken, and that its babies are little chickens. It's hilarious. In terms of this monster itself, it's the sequential boss monster, having removal abilities and protection among itself for its material. So shout out to the Basiltrice. Next up are the spell and trap card, and there's only one of each. We have Hazy Pillar, known in the OCG as Haze Pillar. Its effect reads, you can normal summon a Hazy Flame monster with 1 less tribute. Once a turn, you can target one face-up Xyz monster you control and attach one Hazy Flame monster from your hand or side of the field to that Xyz monster as Xyz material. In the artwork of this card, you see the monster Hazy Flame Manticore coming out of a pillar of fire. Hazy Flame Pillar is basically the embodiment of a major support card, being able to not only summon your Hazy Flame monsters without a tribute, because they're all level 6, but also being able to target an Exceeds monster and give it material from either your hand or side of the field, making Basil Trice even stronger than before. We move on to the last card of this video, and of course, the first card we saw in this video, and that is Hazy Glory. It is a continuous trap card, and it says that you can normal summon Hazy Flame monsters with one less tribute. You can send this ace of card to the graveyard to target one Hazy card in your graveyard except for Hazy Glory, and add that card to your hand. In the depiction of this artwork, you see Hazy saying Basil Trice, believed to be attacking using his ability, having multiple whirlwinds around it in various colors, ranging from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, cyan, and indigo. This is probably, like I said, one of the 2 support cards that you need to help with the deck in terms of getting things started, and even more so adding recovery from your graveyard to your hands. So that is it, guys. That's every card here for the Hazy Archetype. What is your favorite card in the Hazy Archetype? Do you like any of these cards? And what ideas of things would you like to see if they ever got new support cards? I would have to definitely say that this archetype needs a lot more spells and traps, especially for those to help speed up the process of summoning other monsters. And then being able to negate spells and traps, which can tend to be probably this archetype's biggest Achilles heel, outside of having to rely so much on being able to summon other monsters. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps me out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content to my channel. Social media links, they're in the description box below. And with that said, HPJ signing out. Take care.